Dan Campbell says that your boy who got injured,
I know,
wasn't that bad. Said he should be fine. That's
Jahmyr
what Dan
Gibbs.
Campbell said about Jahmyr Gibbs. Excited to see that. I think we had a tweet.
Yeah, we did.
Here we go, right here surrounding NFL. This is the quote from Dan Campbell. Running back Jahmyr Gibbs, hamstring injury is gonna be fine. Ryan Ermanni, how does that make you feel that Jahmyr Gibbs, it could have been this, it could have been this, what it actually is? You think he's going to be A-okay to start the season?
You know, one of the things that Dan Campbell always gives the tell, right? He always gives the tell with how he does. And thank you, gentlemen. Love you guys. You guys are incredible teammates. Incredible teammates. I had to take care of a piece of personal business, so thank you so much.
You owe no one.
Dan Campbell, how he talks. Remember, Bray, we always talk about it.
He's honest.
He don't hide.
No. Bray, it's not what you say.
It's how you say it.
It's how you say it.
Yeah.
And Campbell nailed it both ways. First, he says he's going to be fine, but it was how he said it that you're like, okay, it's okay. It's okay. You know, it's okay. It's okay. Aravira. I mean, it's okay. Okay. So, I mean, it was like all these guys are going to be okay. Rakestraw, Arnold, Gibbs. Gonna be okay.
Yep.
And
Carlton Davis.
Yep. And at the end of the day, training camp is very important. I know it is, but training camp is different today than it was when you played.
Yeah.
Different when you played than when you know, the guys played when Maz was growing up. You know,
They were car salesmen in the
off-season.
And they still had a
By the way,
milkman back then.
today's the last day of camp.
in the off-season.
Hey, today's the last day of camp officially.
Official camp. But nonetheless, so yeah, I feel really good about where the Detroit Lions are. And again, I said it yesterday. I think it's unrealistic to expect that there not to be any major injuries this year. So don't be devastated.
Yeah.
Heaven forbid if something happens.
Yeah.
Overcome it.
100%. I feel good all the way around. And the reason why I say that is because, one, let's say they were serious injuries. We had depth. We had depth. We were much better this year than we were going into last year. This would have devastated that team last year. They never would have got out the blocks last year. This team at least would have stood a chance to fight like our Detroit Tigers are. That's one reason you feel good, too. You feel good because you wait, you take your time, you see what's going on, and you got a guy that gives it to you straight. They waited till they saw what was going on. They didn't come out right away and say, hey, this was what do you think it is? Look at what Brian Daboll looked like at the podium the other day.
Yeah.
Talking about Malik Neighbors' injury.
Right.
Would you want that to be your head coach right now?
No.
Would you want to be the guy that you trust with your team and your information being delivered to you?
No.
Absolutely right.
No.
Appreciate that, KG. That you wouldn't. But Dan Campbell's at the podium, like you said, he always tells us what it is. Hey, you know, just frankly put, this guy's not ready yet, you know, but just whatever it is, he'll tell you what it is. And so when he says, oh, these guys, shucks, those guys be fine, I believe those guys will be fine.
All that being said, aren't you ready for this practice stuff to be over?
Yes, man.
I mean,
Bubble wrap, man.
It's like just get me to September 8th.
Yep.
Right? I mean,
Let's
just
go.
get me to September 8th. I don't want to see any more turned ankles or rolled ankles or pecs or nothing like that. Hammies.
Right.
Nothing like that.
Nobody wrecks their pecs like the Detroit Lions.
I've never, like, seriously, I have never heard a single team in a 12-month period have as many pectoral injuries as the Detroit Lions.
Maybe they're working out too hard.
Right.
That it could be a thing.
I don't know.
Too many push-ups, too many up-downs. I don't know.
They need Jim Harbaugh as strength and conditioning coach.
He's gone.
I know.
Ben Herbert.
Yeah.
Ben Herbert's
Ben
gone.
Herbert.
Ben Herbert, like, people do not give him enough credit for the transformation process that they made in terms of explosion, speed, and speed dynamics and strength. In the 3 years they became those guys, as they say.
No doubt. So, yeah, that's a great piece of Lions news that I think so many people were wondering about. I mean, we were all waiting, right? And then, of course, Hendon Hooker.
Yeah.
You know,
weren't here yesterday. We talked about that great quarterback that they brought in Jake Fromm.
Hey, you know, camp arm. He can't be any worse than Nate Sudfeld.
Well, you don't know that yet. I don't know about that. I'm giving Nate the pass.
But here's the clip. Eric Woodyard posted this.
Woodyard on Woodward.
This is the clip of Dan Campbell talking about.
No, this is Hendon Hooker.
Hendon Hooker talking about coming back.
That part of the repertoire.
Yeah, I mean, my mom is a huge
fan of sliding, so I always get it from her. But now the coaches are on me as well. So
What did she tell you after the game about that?
we gotta slide. That's her thing. She's been saying it for years. Yeah. I'm learning.
When you haven't played in a year, is that harder to accept though? The idea that you have to avoid contact sometimes.
For sure. And I wasn't even trying to run the guy over. I just embraced for impact, and he's kind of bounced off me.
How would you?
But yeah, coming back and you just playing, you're not really thinking about, I need to slide. So
Being out.
Welcome back, Hooker.
There's no way this guy was in college 2 years ago. There's absolutely no way. Hendon Hooker does not look 26. Hendon Hooker looks like he's my age.
Right?
He's 41. Oh my God.
No doubt. He looks like a full-grown man.
He's a veteran.
You know how the guys look like they were 20 in the 80s when they were 25, but they
Yeah.
look like they were 40.
Well, remember-
That's kind of how he looks.
Remember Greg Oden?
100
yeah.
Former Portland Trailblazer and Ohio State Buckeye.
Yes, sir.
He looked 40
He did.
when he was 18.
He's like
Yeah.
old man LeBron.
He was like looked like Rob Parker a little bit. You know what I mean?
His knees was 42.
Right. Rob Parker.
72.
Rob Parker
Right.
still looks 40.
Yes.
By the way.
Greg Oden was cold.
You know who looks young?
till he got to the league.
Stan Edwards. That's
Stan
who looks young.
Edwards still looks 38.
Yes.
No doubt.
He does.
Don't crack.
Pops,
but
man.
good news on Hooker. This team has
I
been
know.
getting some good news, right? And Maz, you were pointing that out last year about the good news until you had the CJGJ injury and all that stuff. But nonetheless, they got good news. The ball bounced their way.
It just seems like the ball is bouncing the Lions' way in everything. Whether it was you start with injuries last year, you start with wins last year, you start with Jamison Williams being suspended this but only getting this. You look at injuries where guys are, oh man, this guy's going to be, it's not that bad. Look at Sam Laporta. That's one we don't talk about.
Yeah.
Sam Laporta, when he got hurt, we thought it right before the season.
The Viking game.
Yeah.
Last
Right before
game
the
of the year.
playoffs started, you're like, no, not Sam. He was so intricate at that point in time. Not only did he play the next game, he actually scored the first touchdown in
Yes,
that
sir.
game. So you're right. The Lions have been catching breaks. But you know what? About time.
Right?
Yeah.
About time. How many things have not gone the Lions' way starting beyond 2 years ago? So they deserve it.
And again, Hendon Hooker, I do think it's important for him to play well. You want to see the success when he does get the snaps on the field. And again, we'll talk about J.J. McCarthy coming up, but when you get the opportunity to play, I don't care if it's a third-team defense, a fourth-team defense, guys that
show
aren't
up.
going to play, you have to show up. This is what people will see. People aren't going to see what you do on a Wednesday at 9:35 a.m. in individual drills or
100%
7-on-7s. This is where people will see you.
Also, too, this is where you get your own confidence. This is when you
Yes.
get out there, you get your own confidence. You start to feel like, hey, you know what? I don't care where you got drafted. Newsflash, I don't care where you got drafted. I don't care what team you're on. I don't care how bad the team is, how good the team is. Like, you still want to know, can I make it? You still don't get that confidence until you go out there, you make some plays, you feel like you have a grasp of the playbook and a grasp of that level. So it's good to see for your own self going out there, hey, you know what, boom, I got the call right, center back, quarterback exchange. I read that play right. I made this completion. I was able to audible out of this. Now these start to happen, and you like, the more and more you get back to college ball. Like, that's what it's about. It's getting back to that level that you left college at. I mean, for me, it took me really my ninth game to where I'm finally like, okay, this isn't too different from Ann Arbor. This
Right.
isn't too different from playing at that level.
Did you
But
feel like you belonged right away?
no?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, yes, in an arront way. Like, yeah, I got drafted third
Sure.
overall.
I know what you
I
mean.
belong here. But now my play has to speak for itself. Now I have to change my game. So not right away. You're going out there and you're looking at guys that just played in the Super Bowl and the Steelers or the Ravens, and you're looking down the barrel of Hall of Famers, and
Right.
Ray Lewis and Ed Reed. That was the division I was in. So hell no. I
Right.
feel like I had to make some plays. I feel like I had to beat one of those juggernauts or do something that made myself feel comfortable. It takes a second.
We always complain about the injuries. I do, man. They worry me. I mean, I'm like a.
Well, it's a difference maker.
It makes your season. I mean, I'm looking at these guys like they're my family. I want them to stay healthy, and I want the best Lions team out there. But then I was going to save this for around the NFL. But the San Francisco 49ers
Oh, man.
have a combined 26 injuries
Yeah, they do.
already.
Sheesh.
26 injuries
I think
for the 49ers.
I think them and the Eagles are really in trouble for many different reasons, but the San Francisco 49ers have reportedly already suffered, this is from ML Football, a ridiculous amount of injuries. They already had to cancel joint practices this week because they didn't have enough players to fill out the rosters with Ayuk and Trent Williams, specifically those guys holding in but not practicing. They just simply couldn't fill the practice void.
Yeah, 100%. When I said, because I've said this, I've stayed adamant that I do not believe it's the San Francisco 49ers line I have to worry about. I say Eagles. Now I know they're another one of the teams that you don't think. Eagles just happens to be.
I just don't like the coach.
Same. I don't like him either.
Yeah.
I don't like him either. I never have, and I probably never will. But I like that roster. But with San Fran, now you're looking back. Aren't you kind of mad you didn't necessarily set yourself up better getting Trenton Williams taken care of?
Yeah.
Aren't you mad that you didn't get something done with Brandon Ayuk way
Not
before
looking
time?
good.
Or start this process and believe that he was serious like when he first told you back in March?